Hi everyone, this is Ellanoor Memorybooks. This is part 1 of how I make the Paris butterfly journal. Here I have a piece of scrapbook paper I will use as a base, and then I cover it with that beautiful wallpaper. It's an authentic vintage piece of wallpaper, the green and the pink flower you see there, and also this vintage piece of music paper from a vintage music book. I think the creamy color of that music book, I really love it. And then I decided to add one of these beautiful vintage postcards on the cover. So I tuck it in under that piece of fabric. I bought this book with all these vintage postcards, and there are beautiful scripts on it. You just saw it. I was flicking through that photo album, and this I slow stitched this piece of fabric on the journal cover, and I'm so really in love on that piece of fabric. I bought it on AliExpress. Actually, I thought it was a tiny little trim, but then it was a surprise. It was a big trim. And as you can see, there is a little piece left over, and first I wanted to cut it off, but then I was like, you know what, I will make another flap. You see it just right here, to give it this extra interaction in the journal. And this idea I got from Moonside Parlor. She has a video on how to use fabric without a sewing machine. So yeah, this was a great idea with the bow. I was totally in love with that idea. I was right away trying it out. And yes, so now it's like kind of the finishing of this cover for now. In this part I show you how I choose papers for my journal. I use doilies, book pages, ledger paper. I avocado dyed different papers, like also I use this printable kit from Heather and Pearl XO. She has, of course, amazing printable kits. I think you already all know her. So this piece of paper, I just store it with my hand because I really like that idea of the imperfection look. Sometimes I cut it with my cutting machine, but mostly I tore everything with the hand or with a ruler. And how I measure my pages for the journal is just use the journal as your liner, as your measure tool. As you can see there, I just go back to my journal, see if it's the right size. And this is a page from children's books, so also I use children's book pages in my journal. And this page is a magazine paper, but the other side you can see I use paint on it. I paint on it because I didn't like that side, so that's a way to cover magazine pages. I think we all have beautiful magazine pages. For example, I really love a magazine, the magazine Flow or Definite Diaries, or just all kind of magazines. But then I want to use it in my journal, but then I don't like the other side. So an idea is just paint that other side. And this is a big piece of ledger paper. I trim it also in this size. And of course, oh yeah, map paper. I love to use atlas paper or map papers. As you can see, it has those pinky colors in it, so it also matches the cover from this journal. So that were all the papers, and at this point I will embellish all the pages with fabrics, and I use these little sequences, these little butterfly sequences. And I can tell you, this moment, this sewing the butterflies on was quite a difficult thing to do. I speed up the clip, but it was it took a while because it doesn't go well under the needle. So yeah, but I really love the sequence on the fabric and the sequences on my in my journal. It gives, as you can see, it's so beautiful and so extra. So I have butterfly sequences and those circle sequences. You can see the green first page. It's not a page actually. Yeah, it's a page from a vintage photo postcard or photo album. So yeah, now I embellish my journal. I add this beautiful papers in my journal to see how bulky it will be or not or less. And here I embellish some papers, some pages with extra collages. Here I use a piece of leisure paper, some stickers, and of course I really love the effect of aging and distressing the papers. So you can I do that actually like with almost all the papers and all my collage. So what I actually do before I bind my journal is go I have like a strategy for before I sew it. I write it down for myself. Like for this journal I wrote down use ruffles. So I first go through all the pages like where I like to have ruffles, and I sew all the ruffles in. And when I'm pleased with all the ruffles, then I go to every page to see how I can embellish it and with what and with all those extra. And then when I'm finally happy with all the sewing stuff and all the collage work, actually the most important thing is to do all the sewing before you bind it in. So that's what I'm doing here. And honestly, I have to tell you that sometimes I really over embellish the journal, but I think I'm not the only one. It's like when I'm busy with the journal, I'm like, oh no, this page is so empty and so white or so boring. But that's the thing I have to let go, because it's very important to leave something for the new journal owner. This butterfly I glue on there is actually a piece of a blouse, a children's blouse with all the cute butterfly, and I cut it off and use it for this journal. And as you can see, the effect of this distressing is very, very cool. And on I also I've a bunch of these vintage envelopes, and I also love to add these vintage envelopes in my journal. Here I distress it a little more extra. It's vintage envelope, I think from 1940. But yes, to give it extra, I embellished it, and I just added like that so it can use as a pocket, as a big pocket. So for now, this is the end of this video. It's part 1 because it will be a long video if I upload everything together. And if you like it, subscribe and like the video, then I know to make more of this kind of videos. And thank you for watching again, and I'll see you in part 2.